Gotham Season 5, Episode 4, Ruin. So, of course, this episode I'm reviewing about a week late, over a week late, technically, since it's Friday now, but definitely a fun episode. I just wasn't able to, I checked it out. I think it was actually earlier this week that I actually even got to watch the episode, but I definitely wasn't able to review it. But I liked it. I thought it was definitely entertaining. We're getting to see a bit more expand as far as Ed is concerned, because we finally get to see him start to remember some things, and we find out that he's the one that's had the RPG, so he's the one that shot the helicopter down, which still a question as to how he figured that part out, but I would assume if he's the one that blew up the building with the RPG, he's also the one that had the RPG to take down the helicopter. But it was cool to see him starting to remember and try, things are starting to come together where, and it also makes a ton of sense because he was also the one that tried to set the war up against Penguin, so it's like, all right, well, that kind of makes sense. He's just kind of being chaotic for the sake of chaos. So I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of new elements come out of that. And it seems like it'll be interesting based on the trailer for the most recent episode, him actually confronting Penguin and being like, you're the one that actually broke me. So I'm looking forward to that. Getting to see Zaz was pretty awesome. I just like his character. He's really funny. So it was fun watching him. Of course, we have the storyline with Selina kind of, going to find Jerome. And that was pretty interesting. She stabbed him quite a few times, and I was like, I didn't think she'd, get one hit in. But, of course, he won't actually be dead. And if he is, then that's utterly insane, because there's no way that he actually... I'm just like, there's no way he actually died from that, because that was immediately, to me at least, I was like, that seems somewhat anticlimactic. I don't know why, but, technically she stabbed him a bunch of times, but I'm like, I guess technically he's dead, but I was just watching it, I was just like, I'm pretty sure he's alive, because that just seems crazy that was how he died, and it just didn't seem like there was really that much fanfare around it, which, I don't know, I just feel like that wouldn't be the way to go, but at the same time, it was a little hard to tell, because I'm like, she stabbed him a bunch, and he's kind of just laying there, and everyone flips out. It's not like anyone went to his rescue, so it's like, it seems like the point of that was like, yeah, he's dead for sure, but they also technically stopped Selina. She stabs him a bunch in the stomach, and then she's about to stab him like in the neck, and that's when Bruce comes in. So it's like they did that because he's not actually dead. It's like, he got stabbed in the stomach. He's been wounded, severely wounded, but he'll survive. And I feel like that was the entire reasoning for doing that, because it's like, all right, well, you wouldn't go for like the stab and then, we know it's going to be a death blow, and then she gets stopped, unless you were going to be like, yeah, he totally survived that. Because I'm just like, okay, she stabbed him a bunch, and then it's like, well, he lived. It was still interesting to see, but it's like, yeah, ultimately he lived, and then people flipped out, and, they take off. But still entertaining to watch. We got to see Alfred do a little bit of action in this episode. They had their little stealth moment where Alfred and Bruce were doing some Batman stuff, where they're like pulling people down in the shadows and stuff. So always fun to see Alfred kicking butt, even though we didn't get to see a ton of it. Always like that, but definitely a fun episode. Ed going around and trying to solve this mystery with Lucius, I thought that was entertaining, and of course, that's what leads to him realizing that he's the bad guy that actually ended up doing that. By the end, Bruce and Barbara end up making out again, and I think it was like 2 episodes ago. I was like, all right, well, what leads to that? And it's really just, things are freaking chaotic, and that's pretty much all there is to it. It's just chaos right now. So, it was definitely a fun episode, and I don't know how that's going to impact the characters with them. I doubt they'll like officially be back together, but it'll still be interesting. I'm still waiting to see some more characters. I want to see what happened with Lee. I want to see what Hugo Strange ended up doing. Like, is he the one that actually broke Ed? Because they skipped some time, and it's just like, all right, well, we still don't know what he did, what surgery he did on them, and they don't reference it because it's been, even after that point, it's been 3 months, where we are right now. So there's like a flashback that we need, or some answers. Like, Hugo Strange was there, Lee was there, Ed was there, they're knocked out, and he wanted to do some crazy weird experiments. So is he the one that kind of split Ed up because he knew about the two halves, so he kind of split them up again? And then it's like, well, what does he do with Lee? Does he just make a personality? Which, it being a comic book show, it wouldn't be that crazy for them to actually pull that one off. But it would be really interesting. I'm just like, man, what did they do there? So still waiting for those answers. I kind of want to see what'll happen if Poison Ivy comes back. Since they showed Zaz, I'm waiting to see some of the other characters. I want to see the fight between Firefly and Mr. Freeze, of course. So I'm looking forward to that, especially considering they were on a team. I'm curious how that kind of fell apart. And it's like, all right, well, of course it's everybody for themselves, but what exactly led to that, that whole dynamic. But definitely looking forward to the next episode. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about this one, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it, and I definitely want to know if you guys predicted that Ed was going to be the one that actually destroyed the building, considering it, now that I've seen it, it was like, oh, it makes perfect sense that he would do that because of what he did with Penguin, and it's him trying to just set everyone against each other so that, the big players kill each other off. he's the only player left in the game. So it made perfect sense once it happened. It was like, oh yeah, that's logical. But I didn't really expect it. I thought it would be, somebody else that did that. And admittedly, I kind of thought it might end up being Jerome. But like I said, regardless of whether it was the Joker or the Riddler, the question is still like, well, how did they know about the helicopter thing? Because it was like, for that to have happened, they would have had to have known. And considering it's the Riddler, it makes a ton of sense. But it also makes sense with Jerome if he has a bunch of spies in all the other territories. Kind of seems like a Joker thing to do. So it still could have been either of them, but I assume with the RPG element of the building, it was also Ed that blew up the helicopter. And, just somehow he found out ahead of time. But we'll love to know if you guys had that prediction in your head already, or if it just surprised you like it surprised me. And like I said, sorry about that. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.